KOMU8 News is brought to you by Cost Cutters Family Hair Salon, a KOMU8 caring company. Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU8 Sports.
The 13th ranked Mizzou women's basketball team rode a 4-game win streak into today's matinee. The Tigers playing host to number 11 Tennessee, a team Mizzou has not beaten since 2013. A Mizzou women's record crowd of 11,092 on hand to watch the Tigers, and boy did Sophie Cunningham put on a show. Hitting the three there to give the Tigers an early lead, but Tennessee would bounce back here. Courtney Dunbar hitting the three to make the gap closer for the Volunteers, but Sophie Cunningham would have a game. Here she gets the steal and the bucket, just 2 of her 32 points on the day. Mizzou led by 6 at halftime. We're going to go right to the end of the game, though. Mizzou leading by 3. Tennessee's final shot is blocked, but Jordan Frericks gets the foul. The Volunteers going to the line for 3. The crowd was pumped up, and the third shot, doink off the back of the iron. The Tigers get the rebound. They go on to defeat the Volunteers by 4.
Can't say enough about, obviously, our fans today. Just an incredible feeling walking out of that tunnel. For me personally, just looking out, I don't usually notice a lot other than what's between the lines, but I found myself really emotional walking through that tunnel before the game and seeing so much support, and I really appreciate everyone that was able to come out.
This was huge today, and kind of like she said, running out of that tunnel, I mean, that's what I dreamed of as a kid, and that's, now I'm going to get emotional.
The men's basketball team is coming off a 64-63 loss Saturday afternoon to the LSU Tigers, a game where Mizzou went just 7 for 17 from the free throw line. The Tigers' SEC high winning streak ends at 5 games. Mizzou will have a chance, though, to get back in the win column when the team returns to Mizzou Arena Tuesday night to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss, who sits at the very bottom of the SEC, will be without head coach Andy Kennedy, who announced he is stepping down earlier today. Kennedy coached at Ole Miss for the last 12 seasons. Tony Madlock, an assistant on Kennedy's staff, will lead the Rebels into Columbia as the team's interim head coach. The Tigers defeated the Rebels 75-69 in Oxford earlier this month. The game will start at 8 p.m. from Mizzou Arena. The Missouri baseball and softball teams were both in action in the Sunshine State today, which is one of the only places you can confidently schedule games in February. Coming off 2 straight wins to start the season, including a 22-1 rout yesterday, the Tigers were looking to sweep FIU this morning. However, the Golden Panthers got to senior Andy Tolkien early for 5 runs on their way to an 11-5 win to avoid the sweep. The women had a doubleheader on the other side of the state up in Clearwater, taking on 2 Florida teams. Mizzou would jump out to a 5-0 lead against FAU, thanks in part to a couple Amanda Sanchez RBIs, who would also homer later in the game in a 7-2 win. And in the second game, the Tigers defeated USF in walk-off fashion, thanks to a Callie Martin walk-off single. And that's it for sports.